When painting sunsets, did your colours look muddy or lacked vibrancy? And does the fear of losing control hold you back from embracing loose watercolours? If any of these sound familiar, fear not. You can paint sunsets in just 6 strokes. Yes, that is right. This class is here to help you overcome those common challenges and paint vibrant, expressive sunsets with confidence in 6 intentional timed strokes. I have spent countless hours capturing the beauty of loose and expressive sunsets in these 3 sketchbooks. Hi, I'm Omar. I'm a sketchbook artist, illustrator and author of Go with the Flow painting. My art has appeared on greetings cards, textiles and packaging all over the world, and I've had the pleasure of working with major brands from the BBC to UNICEF. In this class, I'm really excited to share my top tips for creating expressive, vibrant sunsets with ease. We're going to dive into the essentials with 4 warm-up exercises, including juicy brushes, mastering the water-to-pigment ratio, and looking at warm and cool pigments to really make those hues pop. And there is going to be interpreting and simplifying reference images. I have prepared 4 full-length demo videos starting with the basics and moving to more advanced techniques, so whether you're a beginner or an experienced watercolourist, there's something for everyone. It's all about being in the moment, painting with intention and letting the colours dance on the paper. By the end of this class, you'll be able to embrace spontaneity in your painting process, letting go of that hesitation and create dynamic compositions that really capture the essence and beauty of a sunset. Let's get started on creating those breathtaking sunsets right now. In this video, we're going to take a look at quite a few different examples from my own sketchbooks and how they've evolved over the last few months. This is sketchbook number 34. I started it in December 2022, but I probably did this about a month later. This is a 100% cotton sketchbook by Hannah Muller, and these 2 images appeared as prompts for Landscape Art Club, and you just use them as inspiration. Personally, I think the colours are a little bit muddy, especially here. This section I think is all right. There's a nice bit of transparency there. I don't think overly enjoyed it. I think I was too fixated on making sure the sunset looked like the photograph. Just a few months ago, I had a consultation with a lady from Florida, and we have an hour together, so we did a warm-up piece. She gave me photos of her daughter in a boat, and then she gave me this sunset in her locality. And when she presented the photo, I thought, okay, let's find out a little bit more about painting sunsets, and I think this one is a much better attempt. If we look at them side by side like this, I just think the colours are so much cleaner. There's a lot more vibrancy here. I like the fact that I could see this round sun. It gave it a lot more context, and the silhouettes of, it might have been a family with children playing in the sand against this bush here. It just works much better. Now, at the time, I was recovering from COVID, but this really caught my attention because we were able to paint this in about 35 minutes, which I thought was pretty good. And I'm going to show you some more examples. This is sketchbook 47. It's another Hannah Muller, and started filling this up with landscapes, but I decided I wanted to do a lot more sunsets, and these photos were from Mariana, the lady that I did that first sunset with, based on her photos that she sent through afterwards. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm onto something here. This one in particular, I just really love it. Just so much more loose than anything that I'd done before. And hold on, I'm afraid my sunsets are all over the shop. So I did these versions. I've written down here, horizon line needs more emphasis, 25 minutes, all of them. So I've got a feeling I might have painted these simultaneously. It is the same scene. And, you know, this is quite early on in my sunset evolution. There's a lot happening here. There's a lot of colours, and I hadn't really figured out precisely what to do with my pigments. And you'll notice that I repeat the same reference image again and again, and this is a recurring theme for me because there was probably some frustration involved. I was still trying to make sure that the result looked like the reference photo, but it's all really, really good to do several versions, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. And I would just divide up the page any old how, and they're just so rough. And I think what you start seeing coming through, I mean, look at this one. You can still tell it's a sunset, but it's so loose. I mean, and I was really enjoying this. They were so easy to put together. I was probably painting these like 2 at a time. Maybe they were taking about 10 minutes. These are from my daughter's window. She took photos and she said, "Mummy, paint these for me." I think these are a little bit overworked because they were from her photos, and I go sort of backwards and forwards between trying to add a lot of detail and just doing an interpretation. I love the strokes here. They're just doing this, and there's a lot of movement, and I was thoroughly enjoying that aspect of it. You can tell that I'm starting to work a little bit bigger. I think that's the final sunset in this particular sketchbook. So we've got a variety of different sizes happening here, from long narrow panels to small square panels to the full page. This sketchbook, Sunset 50, Hannah Muller, is a square one. I dedicated, whoops, missed out the first page. I have dedicated just to sunsets. This would have been fairly early on, where I wasn't really understanding how the different pigments were interacting each other. So you've got kind of this brown purple thing happening. I am going to talk through a lot more about that. And I think this one, it's just too bitty. I don't know how else to describe it. It just doesn't read very well as a sunset, I don't think. This one is better. I like this part of the sunset. I think I'm still learning about reflections in water. These two are quite nice, and it's just of a landscape. Again, 2 different versions of the same scene, and I really like the expressive strokes that are happening in there. They do become, I think by this stage, if you notice that I'm probably using less pigments. I'm probably only using 4 colours, and I'm able to get the water ratio a lot better, and I definitely prefer these later versions, and this spread in particular is one of my favourites. Although I do like expressive ones like this one is particularly moody as well, and it's not a slow graduation. There's still some expressive elements in that. Just a reminder, these are from my class, Simple Watercolour Sunsets, Paint Luminous Scenes with 6 strokes. If you're interested, do check out the link below. And if you're liking this video, please do leave a comment and subscribe to my channel, as it would really help my channel to grow. Quickly want to show you this one as well. This is handmade. I cut up some Hannah Muller paper. This version is pretty early on, and hold on, let me go through it. And I particularly wanted a small sketchbook. You can see it's pretty much the size of my palm. I just felt that I could get all these gorgeous watercolour backgrounds and cauliflowers to happen if it was on a small scale. I could obviously work a lot quicker. I mean, these were probably only taking me 3 or 4 minutes. I enjoyed this tremendously. Oh, look at that, just look at that grey and all those elements combining together. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And this one, I probably folded the sketchbook when this page was still wet, but if you look at that, that looks like some kind of cliff. This movement in the sky there, that's particularly nice as well. This is based on a picture of Glastonbury Tor in Somerset, and I thought that was really effective as well. These are nice as well. I mean, I do leave white space, but I also love this kind of atmospheric effects as well. These three pieces I actually was practicing for a trade show where I was going to be demonstrating watercolours, and it is on that sugarcane paper, and they are a lot more diffused compared to the examples that I showed you in my sketchbook. This is scenes of Venice. They're not based on my own photos, but I have been to Venice and seen the sunset with my kids with that Aperol Spritz, and it gives a wonderful sense of atmosphere there, and there's some lovely effects going on here, and this sweep, I think that's pretty gorgeous. And this is probably Rome. You can see that I've added a hint of dark blue purple up there, and the contrast of the items in the foreground is pretty prominent compared to some of my early stuff, so I feel like I'm really progressing and evolving. And I think these two I actually might have done in the show or at the show, so they were only quick because when you're trying to demonstrate they don't want to hang around forever, so I was painting this really fast, and that's probably why you've got some of these very diffused effects here, rather than if I was at home trying to take my time a little bit more. But I hope you found these examples interesting as well. Okay, would I say any of these sunsets really resemble that reference image? Probably not, but this is just a springboard to your development in your understanding of sunsets. If we were to start with this image and say we are going to paint an exact copy of this, there would be so much frustration and likely you are going to give up. But I hope this is going to be a gentle approach. It probably would be best if I did this assessment when both of these two here were dry, but I'm a little bit impatient and I'm very excited to see things like that. Oh, I love that. I don't know why I'm whispering. So I've now done 4 versions of the same, so it's similar to that first demo. These are just larger in scale, and I cannot emphasize enough, the more that you do, the more you will understand the subject matter, understand how your paint reacts, because I wanted to introduce this, it was this area here where you could see that I had painted the sunset or the pigments had merged, and I wanted to sort of cultivate that, which was lacking in my first 2 versions.
And that's pretty much how I work all the time, especially as a food illustrator. I have to draw things over and over again.
I really hope you've enjoyed this brief introduction to my class, Simple Watercolour Sunsets, Paint Luminous Scenes with 6 strokes. If you're interested in taking this class, the links are in the description below. And if you've enjoyed this video and want to see more, please subscribe, comment and like this video. I would be so grateful.